Howdy. Just getting some time on the beach here. Don't mind me. Soaking up the sun. Bathing in the tide pools of Intermedium. According to a family tale, this is what my great-great-great-grandmother did when she was in Guam. She would bathe in the tide pools in Intermedium and was waiting for a lover. So, years later, I find myself doing the same thing. Trying to learn from her wisdom. I'm in the tide pools of Interahan. Interahan is the name of the village in Guam where my grandmother is from. And bathing in the waters here grants special healing powers. So what I'm trying to do tonight is to travel through time to further understand these healing powers. But there's a cost. So traveling through linear time like this flattens, and I float around bodiless. Staying true to linear time means that production are still visible and vulnerable to exploitation. My arms and my head are still visible. So let's go time traveling. Half a day. Welcome to Guam. Wait, do you hear that? Do you hear that sound? I hear laser beams and a dog. That must mean that everyone here has won a free trip to Guam. Look under your seats. Tell them what they've won. Tell the people. Tell the people what they've won. I saw you looking. So, you and a guest, that's me. You and a guest will be flying round trip from New York City to Guam for a 6-night stay in a suite overlooking Dumon Bay. Daily breakfast, as well as VIP table service will be included in your tickets after the show. Wait a minute. It's supposed to be serious mode. Sorry about that. There's no seats, round trip tickets. We just have this green screen. So we got a studio audience here tonight. Thank you for joining. I'm happy to have you join me on this trip to Guam. We're only going to be here for a little bit, so don't worry. I just wanted to share with you some of the amazing sights and sounds, right? Because we're on this round trip ticket. So this is Guam in the 1950s, just after the war. My uncle just sent me these photos. He lives on Guam still. So Guam, in a military sense, is known as the tip of the spear for the U.S. It's nicknamed the place where America wakes up, based because it's time zone. So we're just driving around. You know, it's pretty small island. I think you can get around in about 2 hours. I'm just driving around. This is actually Interahan. I think we were over there. Yeah, right here. Sorry. Means of production are still a little hazy with this time travel. We're figuring it out. But the tide pools are over there. We were just there. And now we're just like floating magically above Interahan. But this is the village where my family grew up and raised the family. This is in the 1950s, just before the war, or after the war, rather. This always trips me out because I see this, like, how did they get that thing up there? It's amazing. It's beautiful. Yeah, the military. You mentioned that. Tip of the spear. You know, after the war, a lot of the Chamorros thought that, you know, some of them thought that joining the military, this was kind of like a liberation almost of means, right? Sort of a legacy of survival, having survived the Great War, having survived the occupation from Japan. So you have war, colonialism. So none of us should really be here, but yeah, here we are. And really the way forward shouldn't really be about just survival on its own. It doesn't define me or my family or who Chamorros are. So maybe if I'm slick about it, if I play my cards right here. There we go. Maybe we can ask some of these people here in this church if they've heard of my family. Let's just gonna sidle up next to this guy right here. Which side is he? No, he's this way. Hey. Hey, buddy. Hey. You know the Meno family? No. I know, it's weird too. I have no body. I don't understand it. All right, thanks. Yeah. I don't know what's going on right now. And now I'm just floating in the middle of the street. Oh, wrong one. This time travel stuff, it's a blast. Y'all gotta try it sometime. I mean, we're doing it, but if you were up here and doing this thing, you know. So we're still driving around the island here. But eventually what I want to do is get to my grandfather, Joaquin. Got a lot of bridges like that. This is probably the hotel that y'all will be staying at. A 6-night stay with that VIP bottle service, the breakfast. All right, so there's Joaquin. I've only known him for like 3 months. He passed away just after I was born. So it's too bad that guy in the church couldn't tell me more about him, because I'm really trying to, understand, who Joaquin is. Sometimes when I see my uncles, I'm like, hey, you Joaquin, they're just my uncles, it's not really Joaquin. Anyway, my time travel, we can stay here a little bit longer with Joaquin, so we're just going to do that for a second. He was in the Navy, of course, as I mentioned earlier, and saw a possibility with him and his family to move to Guam, or move away from Guam and move to the States. I'm not really sure what base he was stationed at, but I think it was like Edwards Air Force Base, or maybe it's like a naval base somewhere. Anyway, he was in the Navy, served in multiple wars. Anyway, the point of the story is I'm really curious how this person sounds, with no recordings or anything, or any documentation other than photos like this. So it's one of those things that I just it's a mystery. But with time travel, it's pretty amazing because we can just stand right, it's kind of upscale, I guess. A lot of the Chamorro men, they're very strong, silent types, very stoic, very foundational, that you can trust in them. He called me the red boy, because I guess I just had red skin growing up. Yeah, let's keep going. Yeah, here we go. This is Grandma Dolores. She's the best in the center there. And this is the passport photo, they just took the photo like this. Kids crying in the center, it's just took the photo. So this is how they got into the U.S. basically with this passport photo. And this was I'm checking my time travel, right? This is in the 50s, mid 50s. Screen there. This is the altar. There's a very familiar smell whenever I go into this room and just look at this photo. It's weird how smell is part of a deeply ingrained memory, but we would spend every Sunday going to Grandma Dolores' Dolores's house. Every Sunday, she would cook a huge meal for the family. These were like uncles, my uncles, like my aunts, their kids, kids. So, it's like 30, 40 people every weekend. This just, crammed into this garage. And then once every year, we'd go into this room and pray a novena. It was really the only time I heard Chamorro being spoken or even sung was in this context here, which is, again, I wish I could find recordings of that or someone singing, but with time travel, we have this photo here, so this works. And then Joaquin, Joaquin. There we go, that's better. Joaquin and Dolores. And me, but just half of me. And this is their house. They raised a pretty large family in this house. Everyone was kind of like packed into these rooms and, 3 or 4 people to a room. My aunts have really funny stories about, they're probably watching out there in the ether, of packing into this house. We can do a little tour of the house. I think it's, worth time traveling through. All right, here we go. There we go. So this is Uncle Roy. And literally when I showed up to my grandma's house, he was just there painting the fence, which is amazing. Just hanging out there, got a chair. So whenever you meet an elder, this is just growing up, this is part of the custom that I learned. Whenever you meet an elder, you're expected to hug, give them a hug, kiss them on the cheek, kiss your aunties on the cheek. And actually, for men, you shake their hand. It's like a firm handshake. So a lot of the men, they would just like crush my hand growing up. Uncle Roy was the most gentle for sure. Super, super gentle. So I had to relearn this custom, of course, and even in the process of describing it, still kind of relearning it, and there's like a lot of like fake outs, like, am I gonna like hug this person, like how's this gonna work out? Uncle Roy just got it though. He's like, hey, how's it going? Got a hug from him. But he really worried us last summer. It was really good to see him painting this fence because he checked himself into the hospital. He was chest pain, that kind of stuff. And it turned out he needed quadruple bypass surgery. So when I saw him here at this gate, he was like, hey, good to see you. I feel like I'm on borrowed time. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty intense. But then I kind of thought about it for a second, and I also feel like I'm kind of in similar situations. I'm not having gotten quadruple bypass surgery, but still feeling on some kind of borrowed time or whatever that means. But I wonder who we're borrowing it from. If they want repayment or if they even notice, right? But yeah, it felt really good to see him. We can keep driving around here. This tree is pretty amazing. So like as a kid, you would just kind of go under this thing and it would be like so many, mandarins, oranges under this thing, and you could just, take in that citrus smell. And that's kind of, some of my aunts would do that too when they would greet you as another greeting. Chamorros would do, they would put their head in your neck and, just kind of like breathing your soul or something. Really intense way of meeting someone, or introducing yourself rather. But yeah, let's see what's going on in the backyard.
They don't bother me. I don't bother them.
That's Uncle Roy.
See, I got a nectarine. That's a nectarine tree.
Right here.
That one growing, and that one over there is a peach tree.
Wait, this one's a peach tree?
That's a peach tree, that one over there.
Oh, wow.
The little one.
Oh, the little one.
Yeah, I got those at the nursery 2 weeks ago.
Those are cool.
Because there used to be some back here, but you know, they all died.
Right.
But I like fruit. We got too much citrus. Fields,
Right, yeah.
Orange, lemon.
I remember the lemon and this, like a mandarin tree, right?
Right, that's a mandarin.
Yeah.
There's a cat.
Yeah, there's the cat up there. Yeah, I remember that mandarin tree. You would just walk next to it and you could smell
Oh, yeah.
all the citrus. Oh, you got white paint all over you.
That's okay.
Just splashes everywhere.
Yeah. Okay, Nacho?
Okay.
See you tomorrow?
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
This is a mango tree. And this is a mango tree.
Right here.
Yeah. That's mango. This is plumeria.
Yes. My mom has those.
Yeah. Another orange tree.
Too much citrus.
Too much citrus.
Too much citrus.
Too much.
I don't see any mangoes though.
You see these little buds?
Yeah.
They're blooming now.
So these are the
By summer.
okay. They don't have
Yeah.
mangoes by summer.
Yeah, there'll be mangoes.
It takes a while.
Yeah.
The flies like it.
Yeah, what they're doing is pollinating right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
And half of them will be lost, but there'll be some growing still.
Nice.
This is a very healthy tree.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. And these have been here
Mm-hmm.
since the house.
Yeah. Look at this size of this guy.
Yeah. These are cool.
I think Jean's got giant ones at her place. And that's an apple tree. Those two over there are apple trees. Those two were from seed.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, Grandma, you could get a seed and put it in the ground. Those are apples. They produce too. I get apples. Around November. And this one's from the desert.
What's that?
It's like a bottle brush, a mini bottle brush. They call it bottle brush. I took one Grandma's last trip with us when we went to Las Vegas and Laughlin. And I guess these were out in a flower bed. She liked it. So what she did was, she saw it was blooming, and had a seed. She wrapped it up in a handkerchief and put one there.
Just took it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it grew. That's why I got to keep it alive.
Yeah.
You know, her legacy.
Exactly. I mean, there's all kinds of stories in these plants.
Sure. And then this one, this is the mother plant of the mother plant of the mother plant. I got her one plant. You know, this is there's this plant, right? This blooming. What do you call them? Bloom. Yeah, that's always something to do around here. Always something to do. Grandma just got them and threw it as a seed, and these things grew, and she planted them, and they're mean. They cut me many a time, you know. Many a time. So all this stuff I had to pull out. I pulled them out off by hand. You know, all these little suckers, they call them, you know. Because I want them to be like like a bonsai plant.
Oh, sure, yeah.
All the energy will go out to the branches and you get bigger fruit. See, I want bigger fruit, quality better than quantity.
Right.
Before this thing would get quantity, but
It would just grow and really dense, but
so
yeah.
So what I do, I just pick them off, all these little runners. So this thing was filled of them last week. See, all this stuff. So I just boop, boop, boop. That's it. That's the key. Maybe go get some more paintbrushes. Run some errands.
See, I'm navigating a space that's quite narrow. It's about the width of a human spine, maybe. My grandmother would ask me to do this to her. She'd ask me to walk on her back like this. It was therapeutic for her. I got to be her chiropractor at the age of 6. She would point to parts of her back like this, and like this. Probably not that high though. Trying to navigate this small space that I'm in. And in this navigation, trying to expand with her love that she provided. Trying to expand with her. The boundaries of love. Expanding the boundaries of love. when I was younger, I thought when I was walking on her back that I would hurt her, irreparably damage her spine or break something. She trusted in me, told me this wasn't possible. So here we are, back at the Inarahan pools where our time travel journey began. As I was reflecting on the waters earlier, having a chance to think about what my experience means in the context of my family's history, and in an intergenerational sense, a reflection of what someone has experienced about themselves centuries ago, maybe even dreamed of this possibility. So in the expansion of what's possible, people in my family have often said to me, if you're happy, then I'm happy for you. And then they say that they're quoting Grandma Dolores. And as I try to think of what the way forward looks like beyond colonialism, war, and survival, I keep coming back to those words. And I trust in her love. Thank you. Some crazy time traveling happening here. Thanks for joining. Thanks for coming out for learning about Guam. It's amazing. All right, have a good night.